Welcome to A Musical Life. I'm Hugh Sung.
And I'm Jason Heath from Contrabass Conversations.
And we're at the 2017 NAMM show. What is NAMM?
NAMM is the National Association of Music Merchants.
Right, and this is one of the largest conventions where all these music businesses get together to exhibit, show their latest products, and also to share wisdom. And there are workshops, there are classes, and of course there are thousands and thousands of booths where you can see the latest developments in pretty much anything to do with music. Everything, you'll see instruments, you'll see gear, you'll see apps, so many cool things. Tell me, what were some of the coolest things that you've seen so far? This is your first NAMM show, right?
Yeah, it's my first NAMM show, and it's pretty overwhelming. Like Hugh said, I mean, thousands of things to see, thousands of people. I think 80,000 people come to this show, right across from Disneyland. It's quite an experience. I had so much fun checking out some of the exhibits. Roland, I was sucked into their booth and just playing around with the new technologies they have. They have some mobile apps that are coming out. Korg, I was playing around with their new gadget app that they now have put out for the Mac. I've been really having fun with the music technology aspect of it.
You're a tech geek, aren't you?
Yeah, yes I am.
And this is your first NAMM show. You're a NAMM newbie.
I'm a NAMM newbie. Yep, never thought I would check out this show, but I'm having a blast.
And we just actually walked out of a fantastic breakfast workshop with Larry. What was his name? Larry?
Larry Balin.
And he did a phenomenal presentation on future-proofing your business and talking about some really fascinating things to do with the future of artificial intelligence and how that affects really the future of marketing and of business.
Yeah, he had some great examples about how people are thinking outside of the box in terms of reaching new customers. This great Haagen-Dazs story of how Haagen-Dazs is using basically Princess Leia-style hologram of a violinist playing, and it's totally captivating. You can get so overwhelmed with the pace of change and what am I going to do to remain relevant and contact people. And you see a session like Larry's and you walk out feeling inspired and energized and full of new ideas.
I think the most helpful thing is that I think musicians, we tend to feel overwhelmed pretty easily. There's so much happening. It's just enough just to get our instruments, to get skilled on our instruments, and to think about this whole business and marketing thing. It can seem a little overwhelming.
And a show like this, it's interesting, especially if Hugh and I both share classical music background, and that can feel like your whole world, and you come to a show like this, and you realize you are one drop in a very large bucket, and this music world is happening, and it's vibrant, and it's thriving, and it's going in all sorts of new directions, and it's up to us whether we want to join them on that journey.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. I had the same experience or similar experience. I still remember my very first NAMM show and coming and seeing, thousands of people, thousands of booths, all these manufacturers, and my initial reaction was one of excitement, because I had actually been under the impression that the music industry was this, really small, kind of backwoods kind of thing. It's vibrant. It is exciting. There are big companies, there are little companies, there are people doing some amazing things, all getting together to show. And this, I guess the NAMM show is just a great way of getting an eagle-eye perspective on everything important happening in the music world. And if you want to be in music business, you really need to be here. Yeah?
And we all should be in music business, or thinking of ourselves as in the music business. And it's a great way to, not only, it's a tremendous networking event, but it's a great way to get ideas and to see what people are experimenting with, and thinking of it like from a marketing perspective, walking by and seeing what catches your eye, what draws you in, and then why did that work? Why did that happen? That's a tremendous benefit of this show as well, with all these thousands of things. Like, what do you actually take time to check out?
Very, very helpful. By the way, Jason and I have known each other virtually for several months now. This is the first time we've actually met in person, so that's another great benefit of the NAMM show, getting to meet up with some of the biggest names in music, like this guy.
Yeah, it's been so fun getting to know Hugh. Hugh was on my podcast. I was on his podcast. I've been in his wonderful mastermind, and it's so great working with people and meeting them online, and then you meet them in person. It's just like we're continuing the conversation that we were having a few days ago.
Yeah, it's amazing. It feels like we've been friends for years, but it's so cool. So right after we finish shooting this, we're going to hang out and have some fun. So, Jason, maybe one Tell us a little bit what's happening in 2017. You've got a very exciting year coming up, right?
Yeah, this is the year, a year of experimentation for sure, and I'm really excited to experiment with video and different types of video, short form video, Facebook Live, different experiments using video. I'm really enjoying honing my craft and getting better at that, and there's so many different ways you can reach people these days, and I've been focused on audio for years and years and years, and it's fun to add some new dimensions to that.
You've been such a pioneer in the classical music podcasting arena. You're probably the oldest. Your podcast has been around the longest. Let's put it that way. It has been around the longest, I think, of any other classical music podcast. 10 years running.
Yeah, I just passed the 10-year anniversary.
That's amazing. So if you want to watch a real leader and pioneer in adopting technologies to grow a career and find opportunities, follow this guy. This guy's amazing.
Well, and going to a show like this is such a great way, because I've been doing what I've been doing for a long time, but that doesn't mean that there's so much room for innovation. There's so many, and I think we can get so complacent doing what we do. And so an event like this, or a mastermind group, or whatever way you can use to like see what's going on in the world around you, how can you incorporate that into what you're doing, and how can you pivot and change course and remain relevant and maybe become more prosperous than ever? So that's what's exciting to me, and I applaud what you're doing. I see the development in musical life and the experimentation, and it's just super exciting to follow along your career and obviously meet you in person.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best things about NAMM. You get to meet great people. Some of the biggest names in music are here. So how do we get to NAMM? You have a pretty interesting, this is your first NAMM show. So what are some ways that people can get to NAMM? Because if you don't, this is not open to the public. This is only for music businesses, and yet they have about 80,000 people coming through here. Well, how did you get to NAMM?
Well, the way I got to NAMM this time is through bass manufacturer, the Eastman Strings, based out here in Southern California, and I've had a relationship with them over the years and asked for if I could get in, and so I am an exhibitor guest of Eastman Strings. That's how I got here. How'd you get here, Hugh?
Well, so I actually have two passes. I got here first because I'm actually an employee of Cunningham Piano, which is a piano store in the Philadelphia area. I'm actually their director of institutional solutions. So I already had a pass as one of the employees, but I also was engaged or invited by pianobuyer.com. This is the same publisher that makes the piano book, Larry Fine, and he asked if I would come to the NAMM show and do a review for a Steingräber und Söhne grand piano with a unique Sordino pedal. So you want to stay tuned. I'll be sharing news about that review coming soon. So I needed a media pass to be able to get in ahead of the rest of the attendees to make sure I had as quiet an environment as possible. So I actually used my credentials, being a podcaster, and showing that I have a show, and I had a letter of assignment from Larry, his first time sending one, and that was enough for me to get a media pass as a journalist to cover the show. So obviously working for a music company or getting an invitation, so you can maybe you have a particular product or accessory that you really enjoy, you can maybe reach out to them and ask to be one of their guests, or maybe you can even be a visiting artist to help demonstrate their products. Those are some ways that you can get in, right?
Right, and as he was mentioning, if you're a blogger or a podcaster covering the music industry, there are many people here in that capacity also.
Right. You were mentioning, I think, this is our second take doing the video, you were mentioning that there was another blog, I think, a very popular blog that has been coming here for a number of years on a media pass.
Yeah, NoTrouble.com, a very popular site for bassists, mostly an electric bass site, but just they've been coming, I think, since they started the site, so maybe this is their 8th or 9th year here, and you see many people with that type of credential walking around the floor also.
Very, very cool. So there you have it, a couple of ways. If you want to come to next year's NAMM, start thinking about it now. Start developing some relationships. And again, the power of NAMM are really the friendships that you make here, meeting people and finding opportunities and getting new perspectives on the innovations, but also the traditions that are moving the music industry forward.
Yeah, it's a great event. It's inspiring, it's exciting, it's a great place to meet new people and network, and highly recommended.
Cool. So here's hoping we'll see you at next year's NAMM. I'm Hugh Sung for A Musical Life.
And I'm Jason Heath for Contrabass Conversations.
See you next year.